Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Across the Fence. I'm Joleil Whitney. February is usually the snowiest month of the year, and 2025 has not disappointed. February is also the earliest time of year to start seeding indoors. So let us begin with a visit to Monkton Central School, where our resident garden guru, Joleil Parker-Dickerson, has some cheap, easy, and fun suggestions for starting seeds. Our story begins with an introduction to Monkton Central School's Ecology Club.
You are great at this like this in my on vacation. And yours is in here all right? Monkton Central School, where I teach first and second grade, has started an awesome ecology club, a group of students who are dedicated to helping out our environment. And we got super excited about starting seeds this year. So we've started with the thing that we can start in February, which is lettuce, and we're excited to grow that. A couple things to get you started are things that, of course, you can reuse. Seed starting can be cheap, easy, and fun. So things like reusable containers where you've eaten vegetables from these, or even these containers are great for starting seeds as long as there's holes in the bottom. If you want to go with a traditional route, you can use cells to start seeds too. So this is your first thing, because some seeds you can even start on a windowsill. All right, now if you're really into seed starting and really want to get a head start on your garden, a light unit like the one behind me is a great investment. So it'll have 3 tiers and you can grow all kinds of vegetables and fruits in here. And what's super great about this is there's lots of space, and the trays will make sure that you don't get your lights wet. Now let's say you don't want to invest over $1,000 in a light unit, and that's totally okay. There's options like these great lights. So you can go to a lot of online dealers or even your local hardware store. I got a set of these for $100, and let me tell you, they grow the best vegetables every year. I grew so many plant starts, and I use these in my classroom too. So these could be used in any location because they're safe. They don't get really hot. So you can use these lights, and remember, you just need some sort of setup where you can hang the lights appropriately and adjust the lights above the seed planting trays. So that's the really important next step to have a look at. Light units like these have these great adjustments on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till my seedlings have started, and then I'm going to start moving this light unit up and down based on the needs of the plants that I'm growing. What's great is that you've got these wonderful attachments here that I can adjust really easily. And I want to make sure that my lights are just above the height of the seedlings. So it's really nice to plant like things together, because your tomatoes might grow a little bit taller, for instance, than your squash. So you can adjust based on the needs of what you are growing. One really great thing to have on hand if you're starting seeds is a calendar. We often don't use calendars like this anymore, but it's great to have one handy. So I'm going to try to mark the dates that I start my seeds. And I can keep this right near my light unit or right near my seed starts. So for instance, today I've marked on my calendar that I'm starting lettuce seeds. Well, lettuce seeds germinate in about 7 to 10 days, and then in about 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to have lettuce to harvest. So I want to make sure that I'm all set and ready for those things. And my calendar might also tell me that the expected date might differ from the actual harvest date. So it's a good thing to write things down. Another great thing that I'm going to include when I'm starting seeds is a warming mat. These warming mats can make sure that the soil is at the right temperature for the seeds that you're growing. You can use this with a number of different kinds of seeds. I'm going to use it with my lettuce seeds to make sure the soil is warm enough, although lettuce seeds can take some cooler temperatures. In addition to this great warming mat, I'm going to be using a cover for my cells like this. However, you don't have to purchase something like this. You can use, for instance, one of your old lettuce boxes, which is a really great way to reuse something. So if I'm reusing one of my lettuce boxes, just like I've done with this one here, I can take out my label here, I can close it up, and it's going to increase the germination time of my seeds. So this is going to be a great way to grow my own lettuce using a recycled item. What I love about this time of year is that I can reuse a lot of my things and I can grow my own food. So watch and wait as this grows. Just make sure you keep your seeds moist and you keep your seeds warm. When I start seeds at home, I try to keep everything local. So you'll notice we're using high mowing seeds today, and we're using some really great seed starting soil from Maine. This stuff is light, fluffy, and organic. What I love about this too is that it easily fills my trays. I love how soft it feels in my hands. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start filling my trays with this great soil. One thing I wanna make sure is that I've evenly filled each cell. I like to put my hands in it. Some people like to use a tool. Either way, you wanna make sure you wash your hands when you're done. This is something I make sure to always tell my students, wash your hands when you're done working with soil, because it's got a lot of different things in it. We want to always remember that soil is a living thing. Okay, so I'm filling my cells evenly. And when you're doing lettuce, you can fill them way to the top, because lettuce doesn't need to be planted really deep. You can figure this information out really easily, how deep your seeds need to be planted, just by looking at the pack. So it's really not a challenge. But you do need some depth for all seeds. Okay, and I certainly don't want to waste any of my soil here, so I'm going to make sure it's there. All right, the second thing that I'm going to do, so I have my cells filled, is I do want to double check my planting depth. So here, for this black seeded Simpson lettuce, which has got a great success rate, it's great lettuce for catching a lot of salad dressing and vegetables when you're adding them all together. So it says that I need to do 1/8 of an inch. And I always think about things in terms of measuring with using my finger, right? So not scientific, but hey, you know, it'll work. So I like to make holes first in each one. I'm gonna make a little hole in each. And then as I've planted, I try to cover them up. Now, sometimes we get really excited and we put too many seeds in, but that never works out because they don't have enough room to grow. So I'm just going to shake a few out in my hand, and I'm going to put 2 or 3 seeds. Now, these are so small. One thing I always like to tell my students is, first of all, you can thin, but a seed is just a plant in a case with its lunch. And so when you're planting, you want to think, you know, this seed has all the nutrients it needs to grow. We just need to give it the right requirements, right? So now I'm planting each one. Oh, I've got all of them planted. I'm going to put the rest of my seeds back, because remember, seeds can be viable for many years. And then I'm just going to cover up each hole. This soil is going to be so light. So when you water it, make sure it's in a tray that's going to catch all that water. And you do want to keep these really moist. Again, covering them up is really the best idea because it's going to germinate a little faster. It's going to keep that moisture in, and it's going to keep those seeds a little bit warmer, especially this time of year when things are so cold. So I can even take this tray and put it in, you can cut these into pieces and put it in one of these reusable trays, or like we showed before, you could put it in an old lettuce container. Really important though, make sure you label your seeds. So some of my students have already put a label on these popsicle sticks. I love popsicle sticks. You can get so many of these for so cheap. I would recommend using a popsicle stick if you're gonna keep it open, but you can also make sure that your seeds are labeled just by using masking tape. So write on the side of masking tape and then put it on the side of your seeds, because I tend to lose these. It's just an easier way to keep track. I want to make sure that my seeds are watered thoroughly and each cell has plenty of water in it. And you have a tray that, of course, catches some of that water. The soil's gonna get some of that water out, and we would just wanna make sure that we drain it if there's an excess.
In the few minutes we have left, I want to preview an upcoming episode of Across the Fence we're calling Vermont Ones. It's our version of the popular YouTube chat/food challenge show, Hot Ones, where celebrities are encouraged to eat spicy wings and answer questions. A Vermont company, Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, located in Barrie, has become a big name in hot sauce circles thanks to the show. Owner Claire George brought in a sample of their hottest sauces for me to try, and well, see for yourself. I see what you mean with all the flavor. This one's getting a little spicy.
It sneaks up on you too. It kind of keeps going.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Something to look forward to.
It's the one I'm noticing on this season of Hot Ones that they'll be like, oh, I'm good. And then they'll be like, oh, okay.
I feel the same way. So do you think when it gets this level of spicy, is it like a little more for novelty, or do you see people using this day to day?
This isn't even novelty level in any way. Like novelty is when you're talking about extracts and stuff like that. Any of these heat levels, it's really just about your tolerance and your preference. And one thing about like the next one we'll have, the Taco Vibes Only, it's really hot. Like it is really hot. But there are chili heads for whom this is their daily heat level. This is what they enjoy, and they also want flavor. Sure. Just because they're a chili head and they like heat doesn't mean that they want only heat. And so that was really our goal with developing the sauce. We knew it was going to be a number 9 from the beginning. We were aiming for that heat level, but we wanted to bring flavor as well.
All right. Speaking of which, we're almost out of time, so let's give it a try. And true to Hot Ones fashion, we'll do a last dab, which is when you add a little bit of extra. Here, do you mind if I add yours as well?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh man, I regret doing that.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm starting to sweat a little bit, so let's give it a shot.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow. Vermont Ones airs Monday, March 3rd after the WCAX noon news. My thanks to the crew behind the scenes here at WCAX who always keep it hot. I'm Joleil Whitney. This is Across the Fence. Have a good one.